For number 5, we're going to evaluate two different expressions for different values of x. So let's start with this one, 3x minus 7. And I've drawn it down here as well, just so we can sort of visualize what that looks like. So 3x minus 7, we have our 3x's and our 7 negative ones. So we want to look at what this is going to look like when x equals 2. So I'm going to first do it with the tiles. So what we want to do is replace or substitute 2 for each of these x's because x is now equal to 2. So I have 2 here. So I'm going to put 2 in for that x. So that's no longer x, it's now 2. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other two x's. Another way of saying this is substitute 2 for x, or sub in 2. So now we can evaluate what we have here. Now we've just got numbers and no x's, so we can make our 0 pairs. So that's going to be a 0, that's going to be a 0, that's going to be a 0, and we're left with negative 1. So the answer here is negative 1. So that's the visual of how substituting works. Now let's do it numerically. So we would write this as 3x minus 7 equals, now we want to put 2 in where the x is. So we're going to do that here. Minus 7. So 3 bracket 2 means 3 times 2, or 3 groups of 2. That's another way of saying 3 times 2. So that can be written as 3 times 2. And when we're substituting for the variable, we usually write it this way. We usually put the substituted value in brackets. Now we can keep going to continue to evaluate this to figure out the answer. So 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract 7. So we're going to write that equals 6 minus 7. And you can see that's exactly what we've got right here. 6 plus negative 7, or 6 minus 7. And we can say that equals negative 1. I'm going to show this one here next, 3 times 2x plus 1. And I'm going to evaluate when x is negative 5. So I've got 3 groups of 2x plus 1. So that's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. And what I can notice with this one is that 3 groups of 2x plus 1 is the same as 6x's plus 3. So I'm going to simplify this one before I substitute. This is sometimes easier, so I want to show it in this example. I'm going to do it over here where I have a little bit more room. So 3 times 2x plus 1 can be rewritten as 6x plus 3. That's using the distributive property, 3 groups of 2x, as we can see, and 3 groups of 1. Now I'm going to substitute negative 5 for x. So this equals 6 times negative 5 plus 3. So I'm replacing the x with negative 5. And I could do that visually with the tiles as well. I could think of taking 5 negative 1s and putting them in where that x is, and another 5 negative 1s there. So I could think about putting all of these groups of negative 5 where the x's are. 6 groups of negative 5, that would give me 30. Negative 30 plus 3. I'd still have these little 3 over here, which would be negative 27. So that's how we would evaluate 3 groups of 2x plus 1 when x is negative 5. I'm not going to do the other two. Those would be good for you to do to make sure that you understand.